Have you ever felt like you just don't have enough willpower to accomplish your goals? Hello, and welcome back to Cozy with Chelsea, a podcast to nourish your mind, body, and soul. I am Chelsea, your host. And today I want to talk about why perhaps it's not that you're having a willpower problem, but in fact, you might need to just lay down. So we'll get into the why. Before I do that, I do want to mention our sponsor, which is Brick. If you haven't heard of it, it's a device that is a square, hence a brick, I think. And you use it to shut down social media apps on your phone. So if you are somebody who struggles with using social media, and I like to turn off the app so that I'm not waking up and looking at my phone when I'm wanting to be present with my family, looking at my phone before bed. So if you're interested in trying a device that will essentially lock your apps, I have a link for that where you get 10% off, and I will put that link in the show notes. So this is something that's been really relevant for me lately and for my clients, which is a lot of times we are often forcing ourselves to accomplish something. And we also are usually very hard on ourselves and blame ourselves for not having enough willpower, not having enough strength. We judge ourselves thinking that we're just too lazy, when in reality, the pushing through is really not the most effective method to getting something done. And I know that might sound crazy to some, controversial to others, but it's true for many people. And I think that it is a very masculine way of thinking about accomplishing things, is just like do, go, go, go. And that model doesn't work for a lot of people. And yet it's still like one of the main methods that we use, especially in the workforce, is like, okay, what tasks do I need to do by which date in order to get this thing done? And while that may work for some people, I don't think it works for a lot of people, especially women. When we actually give ourselves permission to slow down, what you might find is that it actually creates enough space for you to be creative, come up with an idea, come up with a solution, allow yourself to take the next step forward. So you might be thinking, that is not what I think. I don't think I should be slowing down. I don't think I should be laying down. I have a lot of things I need to do. I have a lot of things I need to accomplish. And I just want to let you know, I relate to that feeling. However, have you ever heard of the term burnout? Because when you keep going and you keep pushing, sometimes we find ourselves headed towards burnout. So, if you are looking for a way to avoid burnout and include rest as daily regular self-care in order to produce the results required for the life that you want to live, I have the answer to that. And it is slowing down. When we actually slow down, what we allow ourselves to do, first of all, is like simply to rest. We require rest. Humans in general require rest. Of course, women require rest, and rest does not need to be earned. It is something we need to do every day. And I mean, if we look at actually the amount of sleep required, and studies are showing that women require more sleep than men, but men as well we all need sleep. But beyond sleep, we also need rest. If we are constantly pushing and constantly doing, which a lot of us are, and it's also something that we've seen modeled in our mothers, in our grandmothers, in the women before them perhaps, is they're always doing something. Now, if your mom was a constant doer, did you also have an inkling of what her nervous system might have looked like? So my point is, if we don't allow ourselves to rest on a regular basis, it is oftentimes going to cause chronic dysregulation in the nervous system. So when we're resting, of course, rest is something that we actually need. It is also allowing us to regulate our nervous system. But beyond that, it's creating space. When you actually take the time to slow down, you'll find that you have more space to come up with the ideas, to come up with the solutions, to have the creativity that you've always wanted, that you've been trying to force. This is really relevant for me because this last weekend I was doing. I was updating my website. I was restructuring my business plan. I was literally just like rewriting. And I go, okay, I'm overthinking, I'm overanalyzing, and I'm overdoing. And also I had promised myself that I wasn't going to work on the weekend. And so I decided I'm going to keep that promise. What did I do instead? Went for a walk, watered the plants, went to the pool with my family, made dinner slowly, not in a rush. And after I did all of that, I was so relaxed. We spent the night outside in the backyard, creating a tent and like a little fort area outside, and we had play, we had fun, we had rest. And what did that create? Room and space for more. So that next day when I woke up, I was reinvigorated. I felt full of energy rather than drained. And a bunch of ideas came to me that I wasn't able to force the day before. And this is something that I already know. I already know this. If I slow down, it gives me the room to create. However, I do need constant reminder of it still. So this is my reminder to you that it is okay to slow down and rest. And you just might find that slowing down and resting is the cure that you're looking for rather than doing. Speaking of resting and room for creativity, it reminds me of The Artist's Way. And if you haven't read The Artist's Way, it's a book by Julia Cameron. It's like a workbook almost. It takes you through week by week, and it's a way to rediscover your own creativity. So it's kind of designed for artists, but anyone can use it. Literally anyone can use this book. But she has a week, well, okay, spoiler alert. So if you haven't done it yet, maybe skip past this part of the podcast. But there is a portion, I think she calls it deprivation week. I'm not sure if that's what she actually calls it or if that's just how I remember it. But there's a week where you can't take in any media. So you can't watch TV, you can't even read books, you can't listen to music. Like, it's really extreme. I listened to music. But the idea is that you are not consuming. And I just think it relates to this topic because consuming is another way of doing. Like, even if we're not doing, like, okay, if you're like me, if you're going for a walk, you're also listening to a podcast. Or if you're working, you also have a YouTube video going on at the same time. And it's just this, like, it's this energy of thinking you're being productive when in reality, you're actually just leaking energy. So my point is that deprivation week is what we're talking about here. It's creating space so that you have the time, energy, life force to create, to do something. So how do we actually slow down? If we know we need to slow down, how are we doing it? I want to start with the 5 senses, because this is what I think about when I think of slowing down, is getting back into the body, getting out of the mind, out of the logical, out of the cerebral, and back into the body. We can do this when we think of our 5 senses, right? So if we think of sight, what are we watching? Are we watching really scary movies? Are we watching Game of Thrones like my husband likes to do with me? And I'm watching people battle and I'm feeling very stressed out every day? Or are we sitting outside watching the trees sway in the wind? Okay, so how can we adjust what we're viewing to be a little bit slower? If we're thinking of smells, what smells might help you slow down? For me, lavender, peppermint, Those are essential oils. Could be chamomile tea. It could be that I'm smelling clean sheets on my bed because I'm laying in it and I'm resting. What are we listening to? Are we listening to like an agitating conference call, which you might have to do? Or even if it's like, are we listening to a podcast while we're on a walk? Instead, why don't we listen to the sounds of nature around us? What are we touching? Can we touch some soft fabrics? Again, can we lay down? Can we actually touch grass? Can we touch a tree? And tasting, like slowing down with your food. Eat a big bowl of soup instead of like shoving down lunch while you're on a call. Like if you get what I'm saying here, when we are moving so quickly through things and we're trying to get everything done and pushing, it's frying our nervous systems. So if we can make simple swaps, and trust me, you can take a break for lunch. I promise you that you can. You can go for a walk and not listen to a podcast. These are things that you can do. And if you do them, like I said, I promise your energy will be better. When we get back in the body and we do things that regulate our nervous system, it allows us to get in touch with our intuition, with our inner knowing. And we're vibrating at a level much higher than we were before. So if you could think about what you can do to help you slow down, everybody's going to be different. What's going to work for you isn't going to work for somebody else. For me, things like walking with ease, not power walking, gardening, getting my hands in the dirt, journaling. It could even be reading if it's a relaxing book. So like choose what works for you and take the time to allow yourself to do that. And at the very least, do nothing. I mean, I'm so serious. You could lay in your bed and watch some reality show. If that's what slowing down means to you, that's all that matters. The point is to get ourselves back into equilibrium so that we have the energy and the headspace to work. And not just to work, but to work in a way that's aligned with our energy. Well, before we end, I will share what is making me cozy this week. And you know what? I already mentioned it in this episode, but it definitely was this past weekend when I was slowing down, but specifically when we were playing outside, because if you live in the desert in the summer, it's actually the best at night, even though it might be 110 degrees during the day. But at nighttime, it's perfect. It's like, especially if there's no wind, it's just like the air feels like your skin. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but that's how it feels to me. It's just perfect. It feels like you're walking through nothing. Yeah. But anyways, we took all of the tents out of the garage and put them in the backyard and set them up. And we put like stuffies in it and pillows and blankets, and we made s'mores. And it was just really, really lovely. So not only did it serve a purpose that it helped me slow down to do something, but it's really about a lot more than that. It's really about connection and spending time with the people that you love. And really that's what's giving you that energy. So slow down, connect with the people around you, be present, and you will be a better person for it. Okay, go have yourselves a slow, cozy week, day, hour, whatever you can get in. And I'll talk to you next week. Bye.